Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Joy Webb, and I am a part of the Community Investment Network. I am here today to share a great opportunity that we've had. Before we start, we want to talk about a few housekeeping tips. Um, Feel free to ask questions. We'll have a question and answer session at the end, toward the end of the session. But at the top hand corner of your screen, you'll see a question and answer button. So feel free to ask questions as we go through the through the session today. And then also someone on the back end on the Microsoft team will be answering them. So we're excited to have everybody here today. I want to give you an opportunity to learn a little bit about Community Investment Network if you don't already know. We are a national network of African American and donors of color, and we leverage our time, talent, and treasure to give back to our communities, to give back to nonprofits. We do that through a giving circle model, and our giving circle model is a model that is leveraging the personal resources of people with their time, talent, and treasure, which leads to a testimony and shows how they actually are connected with their community by giving back. And as philanthropists, we give back with all of those resources. Philanthropy is the love of mankind, and we do that through our giving circles, and our giving circles are located throughout the United States. The locations of our giving circles are vast. We are located in all over. We're in the east, in the south, in the north, in the west, and each circle is like a community. We literally chart our own courses and have circles throughout the United States. I'm going to be a little biased and talk a little bit about the Circle of Joy, which is located in Atlanta, Georgia, because that's my personal giving circle. But we have circles that literally help communities throughout the United States, and we have been doing that for the last 16 years. We stay connected to our communities by having some signature programs, and our signature programs are We Are Philanthropists, and that is a program where we talk back to the next generation of philanthropists, and we focus that on college campuses, where we talk to students about collective giving, the models, how they can give back to their community, and not necessarily always leading with the treasure, because sometimes people feel like philanthropy is only about the dollars. We know that it's not. We know that it's a collective and intentional effort. We can change the world. So we do that, and we teach students that in college. We also have EDGE curriculum, which is a curriculum that teaches diversity. It's the Essentials for Diversity in Giving. And that teaches diversity to foundations, organizations, universities, any corporate entity that wants to know about other donors that they might not look at as a resource. A lot of times they're known as invisible donors, but we talk about languages and the language that should be used, how to connect with different communities, and how to engage with different communities to make sure that there is diversity in your giving, whether that's from the board or that's from your actual donors that give to your actual organizations. And then we have a great conference. We have an annual conference that is happening in October, where we get together collectively. And it's not just for giving circles, it's for all. It's for foundations, it's for organizations that want to give back, it's for community, because we know that we are stronger together. And we know that together we're able to move forward. So in our conferences, we highlight those things. We highlight how we can, connect, how we can engage, how we can strengthen each other, and how we can learn from other communities, since we have circles all throughout the network and all throughout the United States. I am so excited today to talk about one of our partnerships with Microsoft. We have had the joy of learning and being a part of this accelerator for a few months now, and we wanted to share with our communities. We know it's great, and we also know that exposure doesn't always happen. So we wanted to be able to expose our communities. You all today are part of our community, to share about this great initiative that is happening at Microsoft that we are a part of. And we have a great speaker who will share a lot more about this. Mr. Darrell Booker will talk about the program and more about it, and then we'll have questions and answers at the end, like we talked about. So look forward to hearing from you all and getting everybody on board. Darrell, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Joy, and hello everyone. Hello everyone, all the circles out there. I will say when I first talked to Joy, I had no idea that you all existed, and I had to ask her like 5 times. Okay, what is a giving circle now? What do you all do? And I think it's just absolute fantastic work. I think even hearing today, there were some more things that I didn't even realize as a community that you all do. So, very much appreciated. The reason that, we're here today in the group that I'm representing within Microsoft Philanthropies, hashtag we are philanthropists as well. So the more collectively that we can be providing necessary, cash, resources, opportunities to nonprofits and the communities that they serve, is very, very important. So thanks again. Once again, my name is Darrell Booker. I'm with Microsoft, and I'm with our philanthropies organization within Microsoft. But even more specifically, a group that was created about 3 years ago called Technosocial Impact. And Technosocial Impact was created because we realized as an organization that we needed to do more than just provide nonprofits with cash. That we owed nonprofits the opportunity to what I like to call provide wraparound assistance in terms of technology and innovation. So Technosocial Impact was born 3 years ago, and we're a global group within Microsoft Philanthropy. And we're the group that do a few things. One is we kind of fight it out with the rest of the Microsoft to ensure that nonprofits receive free licenses as well as the appropriate discounts. And we're also a full team that is supporting nonprofits as you would any other account team. But I think the other thing that's really important that we as Technosocial Impact do is we create solutions that are specific for nonprofits. I'll tell you about them later, but there's very unique solutions that only you all may be doing that the rest of the world is not engaged with. Things such as grant management, donor management, volunteer management, and fundraising. Technosocial Impact is that group within Microsoft that's building those solutions to be able to serve you. So hopefully you leave here today understanding, hey, there is something with this Microsoft suite that could really help us, have the highest impact on the mission. But to even get more specific in how, Joy and I got connected, really dates back to last June after the killing of George Floyd. And Microsoft, like a lot of other corporations, made some commitments on how we would address racial injustices. For those that don't know, back in June 23rd to be precise, our CEO, Satya Nadella, put out a blog highlighting the things that we would do. And I think it's important that, you all kind of know where we as a corporation is going. A lot of these commitments were around working with more HBCUs, hiring more blacks in leaderships. Also diversifying our suppliers. As you can imagine, Microsoft relies on a lot of suppliers for, all of the components and different things that we use. So making sure that we are putting money back into, diverse leaders and corporations. Providing capital to minority-owned banks across the country is an initiative that our finance team is taking on. Our airband team, which was initially just trying to bring broadband to really rural areas, is now focused on bringing broadband affordability and device affordability to as many even urban communities as possible. And then our digital skills team is part of an entire global skilling initiative that Microsoft has to provide digital literacy to as many people as possible, are funding Black-led learning and skilling partners to ensure that they have all the tools that they need to provide the best curriculum to our youth and, workforce age adults. And then last but not least, under a section called Strengthening Our Communities, we created and are, fully operating what we're here to talk about today, which is called the Nonprofit Tech Acceleration for Black and African American Communities. And it's exactly what the title is. I think that explains it to a T. And it's how do we work with nonprofits that are supporting our Black and Brown communities, large and small, and make sure that we level the playing field in technology so that the nonprofits across this country have everything, all the tools, everything afforded to them, just like the really big organizations, so that you all can, deliver the quality of service and care that you all do. And when I say small, I mean small. I don't care if you're a one-person nonprofit in Mobile, Alabama, teaching coding classes to 2 kids a week. You're a part of this program. Come on over. We'll help you, and meet you wherever they are by ensuring that, you have what you need to be as successful as possible, be productive as possible. I think I can say and speak for all of you all, the type of work that we as philanthropists do, and especially a lot of the organizations like you all, a lot of you probably didn't go to nonprofit one-on-one class. There's really a passion behind it and saying, this is a problem that I want to solve. So you just lean in and you just dive in and start doing the work, and really selflessly don't even think about, okay, what are the things that can make it easier for me? And, maybe a misconception that, some of the tools that's needed aren't for you. And that is kind of the misconception we like to clear up today. So what's included in this program? What are the benefits? Now that you kind of got a background of what the program is, if you're a registered 501c3, there's some quite a few free licenses and then ultimately discounts that this program provides. If I'm kind of reading left to right, or down and then to the right, one of them is $3,500 a year in annual Azure credits. So this renews automatically. But for those that do not know, Azure is our cloud computing platform. So when we think of hosting your websites in the cloud, you may be paying GoDaddy now, or you may be paying that IT guy down the street who's probably charging you too much to host a website. Bring that over to Azure and be able to host those things in the cloud. When you talk about backing up data, you may have, some really, critical data that's on some machines. How do you have that secure in the cloud? Many of you all may be doing anything around streaming videos or storing a lot of media. It's really great for that, as well as a learning platform and some other things that I'll show you in a minute. 10 free M365 business premium licenses. So Microsoft changed the name, so it's used to be called Office 365. Now it's called Microsoft 365. But that is your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint, your OneDrive, which is where you can, kind of store documents. SharePoint, which is really great to have an internal intranet just for your company. Microsoft Teams, what we're using right now to be able to do this live event. I don't know how many of you all are accustomed to using Teams, but Teams is definitely taking over as the future. If you all watched, what was it, the NBA playoffs last year in the bubble, everybody that was on the screen, that was all powered by Teams, if you didn't know that. But Teams is really that hub and that portal for you to do everything. I can tell you, my daily workflow is I have Teams up and I have Outlook for email. That's it. So within Teams, I can chat with everybody. We can collaborate on documents. We can do our meetings. We can do live events like this. It really becomes your central hub of what we call productivity and collaboration. Dynamics 365 sales enterprise licenses. So Dynamics is our business apps suite of technology. So when we think of things like finance and payroll and HR and fundraising and marketing. These are the Dynamics is that tool that allow you can do them. A CRM. So some of y'all may be using things like HubSpot or Zoho or I don't know, the list goes on. All of this could be centralized using Dynamics under the 5 licenses. For a lot of organizations that may not be big, and if you really think about the people who really need to do these things, 5 of those licenses typically will work for a lot of you organizations. 10 free Power Apps license, and this is actually new as of December. Power Apps is our no-code platform. So when I say no-code is, I know a lot of organizations don't have the benefit of having, a lot of IT staff, if any. You definitely don't have the benefit of having a developer. So, but then there's this need sometime to be able to have those really quick and dirty, say applications. Let's say you're doing a volunteer event, you may be giving out food or you're collecting registrants or doing something out in the field, and you wanted to be able to actually create a really quick, simple application that runs on, say, a tablet or a phone, where you don't need to be a developer. You literally can drag and drop and create these lightweight applications that could then do some type of processing on the background. So that's what a Power Apps license is all about. And I'll show you an example of that in a few. And then reduce pricing. So if you are larger and you say, hey, we need more than 10 365 or we need more than 5 free Dynamics, you get nonprofit pricing. So once you get past the free, there are what I'm trying to say, some additional licenses that you can get at a discount. So a couple of these solutions that we have created that I think is really, really great for a lot of your organizations. One of them is our community training platform. Think of this as a learning management system, and this, and we had created this. I remember it kind of was, first being developed maybe 2018. And so we already had this. And when the pandemic hit and so many organizations who deliver some type of services, whether it's coding classes, mentorship, leadership, whatever you may be doing, and you really was used to doing that in person, everybody switched to, all right, well, at least let's just get on camera. And yes, you get on camera, you can replicate some of that, but you lose a lot of the structure you had before. So really quickly, organizations was taking advantage of this completely free platform, or asterisk, mostly free, in terms of you don't pay anything for the platform. You don't pay for any of the users. It runs on that Azure cloud that I talked about. And with the $3,500 Azure credit, it will more than cover this. I think you would probably, for most organizations, maybe not even use $2,000 of that Azure credit to be able to run this platform. And what this allows you to do is have your own learning platform where you can invite your users. You don't even have to create new content. You can upload existing Word, Excel, PowerPoint, videos, whatever the case may be, structure them into courses, lessons, be able to have practice quizzes, final exams, and track the progress of your users. And almost within a couple clicks, this can be deployed in your Azure environment, up and running. And then the last beauty of it, you can make it your own. You can completely self-brand it. So we can have one called the Circle of Joy, and it can have, Joy's, favorite color scheme. And she could host it at circleofjoy.com if she wanted to. And it's mobile friendly. And also there is the ability to deploy an Android application to the store, so people can actually have a downloaded version of this. So, almost hard pressed to find organizations that can't make use of this to some degree, even if it's not for your beneficiaries. There's a way that you can use this for, training internal employees and be able to have some courses for them. So really urge everyone to take a hard look at this community training platform. The other kind of tool set that I think is, if it was up to me, it'd be mandatory for you all, but it's called the Nonprofit Operations Toolkit. And the name kind of says it. It's like we kind of step back and say, what are those core set of, tools that, essentially every nonprofit needs. And then when we kind of look at smaller nonprofits, you don't really need robust software to do these, that end up being costly. You end up having, 10, 12 different softwares where you can all kind of contain this into one. This runs under Power Apps. So remember the 10 free Power Apps licenses that I mentioned. So again, it shouldn't be any cost. But if you can see the features here from, project management, funder management, donor reporting, managing your costs through vendors, budgeting, time and expense tracking, which we all know you need to do. So this is, definitely that one platform that, I really urge a lot of organizations to do, because back to that, not a lot of people went to Nonprofit 101. I can guarantee you a lot of y'all are probably just trying to keep track of all these things in Excel spreadsheets, Word documents. And I bet there's probably a large number of y'all that have that notebook that you're writing stuff in paper and keeping track of. It's great, but when you really want to maximize your efficiency. But here's the biggest thing: even if you can say, oh, I'm fine, I get it all done. Stepping into what I say, this maturity with your technology, if anything, it gets you in that position to be able to really sit back and say to yourself, okay, do we have the right tools to be able to have the greatest impact on our mission? So really put that in the forefront with, the decision to be able to, implement a lot of these things. And then also the last thing I say too is, you never know, you're one, grant application and one funding away from, going from a 2-person to a 20-person. And then you're this really big organization doing something, and you don't want to sit back and say, oh my God, I wish we had, kind of put some of these things in place. My personal mantra is build for the future and not the now. So when you have the opportunity to do some of these at a really low cost, highly take advantage of it. I'll get off my soapbox about that. But the other major benefit of this program, and to me, this is the highest value, even though I felt like I just gave y'all a bunch of stuff already. The biggest thing is what we call the Concierge team. And this is a team of specialists staffed up only for this program. And I need to tell y'all real quick how monumental this is. Microsoft as a company has not had anything in place to be able to work with small nonprofits and be able to give them, direct contact and attention to Microsoft staff until this program created. So I just to really wrap y'all heads around, I think this is a great opportunity to actually work with our specialists. So the way this works is, it's a very simple form you fill out. We'll have more details later, but once you fill out the form, within a day and a half at the most, you will be getting a welcome email from real people. And there's Tiffany and Caroline. They're actually on here right now. They're the ones who's answering some of the questions that's coming through right now. But you get a welcome email from either Tiffany or Caroline welcoming you into the program and giving you a link to book time on their calendar to actually begin this acceleration process. And what this acceleration process looks like is it's not transactional, it's not turn and burn, and we're just trying to run through. We really wanted to build the proper experience. So Tiffany and Caroline, they're going to want to know what you're doing, what's your nonprofit about. There's a bit of getting to know you, because that is how we identify and understand what may be some of those barriers for you, or what is those innovation things that you need that we can help you with. So once you kind of chat with them, what I like to say is they kind of play air traffic control, and direct you to one of our specialists, and our technical specialists can help you in whatever area it may be. It may be Kamal, who's actually helping you switch from G Suite and activating those Microsoft 365 licenses, or it could be Rob, who's helping you stand up that learning platform that we talked about in Azure, or it could be Kurt, who's actually helping you set up those that nonprofit operations toolkit. This is, free tech consulting, and I really, really want to nail home that this is the real value, and definitely recommend that y'all take advantage of it. Don't take too much advantage of them, people, but take advantage of it. We're definitely trying to reach as many people as possible. So we set this up so that for most organizations, and we'll hear from one of them here in a minute, that with a couple what we call touch points, with one of the specialists, we'll be able to guide you through and get certain things set up. So the concierge team is fabulous. They're real people. I think you will enjoy them. If you're lucky enough to talk to Rob, he is the most caring person ever. I think you will certainly enjoy that. But I can talk about it a lot, but I think it's really great that you all can hear from someone who's actually been through this. Joy chatted a minute ago about just her experience, but wanted to bring someone else in. And with that said, I'd like to introduce Selena Burke to be able to join us. Selena Burke is with the Jerome Burke Foundation, and I'll let her tell you exactly more about her background, what the foundation does, and what their experience is. But like I said, definitely wanted you to hear from someone who has been through the concierge experience relatively recently. So how you doing, Selena?
Hi, thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Like Daryl said, my name is Selena Burke, and I am with the Jerome Burke Foundation. First, I would like just to thank Community Investment Network and Microsoft for giving me this opportunity to share the foundation's experience with the program. Just a little history about the foundation. It was formed in honor of my brother, Jerome Burke, who unfortunately passed away in 2018. However, we have continued his efforts of supporting higher education among the African American community. We basically service two groups of people: African American high school seniors who are going off to college, and then everybody else, African American males in that age group from college on up. And as many you may know, that like starting a foundation with limited funds can be a challenge, right? But the Microsoft grant has helped us in our mission. So our journey is, as Daryl talked about the concierge, we started off with that process. And you fill out the application and you're like, oh, they want this basic information. And he's right, immediately. Tiffany sent me an email, had the Microsoft booking link. I made an appointment, scheduled an appointment with her, and I talked to her, and she kind of went, we went through the basic things of, what the foundation, what do you do, and all the basic questions. Here you go, filling out all this information, providing this information. And then she scheduled a second appointment, and here I have Tiffany, I have Rob, I have Nick. I've got a team of people, and I'm like, wow. Because you don't expect that, right? You expect to fill out this form and, eventually they'll get around to you and you wait. And I mean, the process was immediately. And they were really caring. They really wanted to know, what is it that you do? What is it that you are trying to accomplish? And how can the Microsoft suite help you in that effort? And I was amazed because, like I said, the African-American students that are going off to college is real simple. We give them scholarships and we send them on their way. The online training program is something new when we realized, okay, we need to service these people. And it was, we're in this infancy stage trying to figure that out. This concierge team, I mean, when I say priceless, it was like brainstorming with your board because, I had this third party company that I'm working with, but now I need an interface. They're like, oh, we have an interface, Microsoft Community Training. But come to find out, the MCT training platform that Microsoft Office has does not support the file layout that the third party company that I'm using. Now, usually when you're dealing with vendors, they're like, okay, well, you know, you can't use our service. That's it. No. So what they've done, I don't know if anybody know anything about development. Microsoft not only said, okay, the team said, let us help you negotiate and tell you exactly like how to get to still being able to offer this program. And then they went and started they talked to their development team and came back and said, well, we can't offer this service, the Microsoft team service for you, but we will in December. So here I am, a small foundation that you're going to put in a feature request to support a small foundation. When I say, I had no words, but that just shows the dedication that the whole team had to support. And we're not a large company, we're small. Like we started in 2019, limited funds, not a lot of people, and they took the effort to do that, was very priceless. And so, and then they're going to create a feature, and they're giving us $3,500 in Asia credits, right? Not even an even exchange. So that in itself was, right there, I was done. I'm like, you don't have to give me nothing else, I'm happy. But it continues, right? And so we got the Microsoft Office 365 suite with all the emails and Microsoft Word, Excel, the whole library. And we were able to, we had one kid, like we sent them off to college, and he emailed and said, hey, I don't have, Microsoft Office. Oh, hold on 1 second. Now, at this time, I wasn't aware that the Microsoft subscription would be free, but this kid needed, this is what we're doing. All right, let's go out and let's order it. And so I go into my, Microsoft admin, and I click on add a user, and I get him what he wants, and I, verify what I want, and I hit purchase. Zero. So for me, I'm thinking about, like, as a non-for-profit, you're thinking you want to keep your operational costs like down to a minimum so that you can really do your passion of servicing the community. So the more things they give us, the more we can give to this group of people that we're servicing. And so this boy's mother was so happy. She emailed me, like, she was so ecstatic. She was about as happy as I was that I was able to give it to him for free. But now he has the tools that he needs to get to where we're trying to get him, and that's off to college. I mean, off to finish college. And so that was great. But there's more to come, right? And so we have this online training program where we're going to be offering classes in business, IT, customer service, a variety of subjects. But the one that's true to my heart is IT. So Microsoft has this lab where we are able to offer the IT program. So we're saying, okay, you can go out here, we're going to teach you with this third-party tool how to program in C#. This lab, which is a virtual machine, which is part of our program, which if I went out and purchased the machine, the software to install would cost me a couple $1,000s. And I'm getting it for free, like nothing, right? And I'm able to offer these to the community to say, okay, now you can, one, go and look at these videos, and it's going to tell you how to program, but now you can log in a stimulated machine and actually do what you were taught and practice and play. And if you mess up, you know what? It's okay. I press a button to say, clean that image out, press another one, refresh, and they can start all over again. The amount of money that, like, if you were in a development team, how much it costs to actually produce that, and what we're getting is, it's not even a fair exchange. Like, if I went out and bought a machine versus me just going to the cloud and press the button, there is no comparison. And so that was like the most exciting thing that so if you're not using the lab, talk to your concierge to use it, because you can set up these virtual machines, especially if you're doing any type of learning programs. It's wonderful. And also we were able to use the SharePoint. And so for SharePoint, we use it for our board. Basically, we can share all our information. We can, like our bylaws, our agendas, our meetings, everything is in a centralized place. And so If you're using Google Docs, stop. You want to use SharePoint. And then on SharePoint, you can make it like it's a website, right? So you can have time zones. So if you have a bunch of people from different time zones, you can put the time zones down there. You can put a link of all your board members. And if I want to send anybody an email, I just press a button and it pops up and I can shoot them an email. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to remember. I have a list of all the committees. And all of this here is it's almost like an intranet. But it's in this shared repository where we have all the information. If someone don't ask me for anything, go to SharePoint, it's there. Any of our reports and everything is in this central space. We have any media stuff we have that we want to share so people can put it out. It's right in that centralized place for free. We also use Teams to do our meetings. We have not used like the webinar yet, but that's one of the things that we're talking about doing, because we can actually link our third-party tool into Teams. And so we haven't configured that yet, but we are using Teams for meetings. So now you don't have to pay to use Zoom. And so that's a great thing. We also was able to build our website in the cloud. So the website is in the cloud. The database to store the information is in the cloud. Backup and everything is in the cloud. There is no, we don't even have a location, right? We're actually working at our home. And so we're able to send kids off to college, provide online classes, meet, store information, have a website, you name it, we got it. Why? Because of the Microsoft program. So hopefully I said something that relates to what your nonprofit is, that you can utilize it. The Concierge, they are the best. If you haven't used it, sign up. I love everybody at Microsoft. I love them.
Hey, Selena, one question for you. If you had to give just any general advice, whether it had anything to do with Concierge or anything, what would you tell everybody?
Say that one more time.
If you just had one piece of advice for everybody about anything, whether it's the Concierge or technologies or anything, one piece of advice will be the thing you would want to end on.
Oh, geez, everything was great. So it's really kind of hard to kind of like pinpoint it. But one thing I'm going to say that I think is priceless, especially when you're a small firm, is the Concierge. Because at the time we were trying to figure out what we're going to do, and for them to actually brainstorm with us, and it wasn't just one meeting, we rescheduled, everybody had tasks. It was very productive, and it helped us, especially being small. And when it was over, I was just like, can I make up something to keep you guys? to get that consulting, that feedback, brainstorming of people just, we didn't pay for it, and to get that free advice, and it was good advice, that was the best thing. And it helped us, so we wasn't like all over the place trying to figure out what we want to do. They streamlined it and say, okay, these are the things, these are the tools that you should be using, these are how these tools are going to help you. I think that's the most important, because they're going to show you which tools will be beneficial to you based on whatever your objective is in your foundation.
That's great, Selena. Thank you so much. I just really excited about the help we was able to provide, and you just being in a great spot to be able to continue doing what you're doing. Thanks again. I think Joy has some questions for me or for us about this. I did want to say a couple of things. I have been looking at the Q&A. People are asking, well, how do I sign up? You'll get that at the end. That was a trick by us. So you got to wait to the end to get that. So you couldn't get it and then dip out. So it's coming. Don't wait. And I did want to give one shout out. I was looking. And I don't know this lady, but Veronica Fleming from Sister Fund RVA, Richmond, Virginia. I'm born and raised in Richmond, so very rarely do I see hometown. So, hey, Veronica, I'm sure you're doing something really fabulous. Let me know how we can help out. But Joy, I think you got a couple questions you wanted me to answer.
I do, and Veronica has a Giving Circle, so that's shout out to the Giving Circle Network. She is part of a Giving Circle in Richmond. We are, I'm excited just from hearing all the information that we just talked about. We do have a few questions, and I will just go ahead and give my quick testimonial on the actual Concierge. They are phenomenal. You you can come and ask questions. You can not remember the question that you asked and forget. And when you try to do it, it doesn't work. And you can go back and ask them again. And they are patient, and they are caring, and they are helpful. So for us, for Community Investment Network, it's almost been an extension of the team, right? And I think that's what Selena was talking about as well. But one of the questions that has come from the community, as I talked to several people, as we were all excited to hear about this actual program, was, hey, I have TechSoup. I know I got that. I got a piece of Microsoft with TechSoup. How do I transition, or, you know, is it the same thing? Does it even matter? I'm sure today they heard that it's a little different, but I want you, Darrell, to talk a little bit more about what the difference is, what the TechSoup offering is. I'm sure you're familiar with what that means.
Yeah, and hopefully I can clear that up. So if you remember me saying Tech Social Impact was just started 3 years ago. So prior to that, you know, the way nonprofits were interacting with Microsoft was through TechSoup. So it's one and the same, but there is some differences. And I think the biggest difference is through TechSoup, you can get the 10 Microsoft 365 licenses. That is the same. But the other benefits that we talked about, the Azure credit, the dynamic license, the Power Apps license, that's only offered directly through Microsoft. So what does that mean? It's not a big deal. If you've already been, you know, working through TechSoup, you say you've got your 10 licenses, you want to do, you know, you want to get more, you come through the team with the concierge, we'll help you to be able to basically unlock the rest of the licenses for you. So it's in the back end, it's kind of the same, but we'll walk you through the process of getting those additional licenses.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question that came up is, you know, we are nonprofits. We are working hard. It's hard work, but it's also hard work. So we pull it together. You talked about the notepads. You talked about, you know, writing stuff on pieces of paper, finding those pieces of paper, you know, remembering conversations. Google had an initiative a few years back, and so I know a lot of nonprofits are familiar with that platform. Today we talked a little bit more about what's happening here, and I wanted to, you know, let you give your shout out, your last push to get to the transition from Google to Microsoft Teams, and, you know, I just wanted to make sure that we were able to talk through those things.
No, that's a great question and fair. I get it all the time. And I hope you all see the sincerity in my answer. And I'll tell y'all this. So I'm going on my 3rd year at Microsoft. So I said that, and I said that I'm not drinking the juice. If this wasn't the right thing for you, I will tell you. But for someone who's been a technologist for 20 plus years, I think if you just kind of look at, you know, we look at Google G Suite and where it started. It was a personal tools, you know, it was Gmail, and, you know, we did that. And then they kind of got into this, well, how do we adapt to be able to help businesses, nonprofits? So, you know, they made it very easy in terms of Gmail was something I use. Everybody just go create a Gmail account. Oh, now I can do these Google Docs and all these things. So if you just keep that in the forefront, I think it will be easy for you to kind of understand that there's going to be some limitations, because them as a company, they can only go so far to accommodate businesses if they want to retain their original base, which is the personal consumer. So when you look at the comparison of, you know, the things that are offered, you know, there's a lot of people that's using G Suite and Gmail, but hate the Google Meet, and you use Zoom. You know, you don't like, there's no really good chat thing, so you're using Slack. So, you know, the opportunity to come over to the 365 suite, and even with what I just mentioned, Teams will replace Zoom, Teams will also replace Slack, and then directly in Teams, you can create and edit Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents directly in that. You know, I think also one of the biggest, you know, things that people realize after time, at the end of the day, what is it? Google Docs and Google Sheets is okay, but it's not the same as Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So, you know, if you have the opportunity to get the full-blown Word, Excel, and PowerPoint for free, remember that, for free, And then with the licenses, I failed to say this. With each license, so if you got 10 free licenses, for each licenses, I think it's 3 devices for each license. So for each person that has a license, you can get it on your laptop, your phone, your tablet, all running on the same license.
Darrell, it's actually 5.
I thought it was Caroline. Thank you for so y'all, that was Caroline from the Concierge team.
Hi, everyone.
There you go. See, these are real people as part of this. It is. I thought it was 5. 5 just seemed too good to be true. That's why I keep never saying that. Because how many devices can one person have? You know what I mean? But I guess it's 5 devices. So, you know, I really think if you holistically look at, you know, what's offered, there's also, if we want to really get geeked out here, the security things between the two are night and day. With Microsoft technologies, you can extend a lot of the security to the documents offline. You can do things like marking things as confidential. They can't be shared outside of your organization. A lot of those features that, you know, G Suite just doesn't have. And I'll give you the one last thing. This concept of a central identity. So with 365, you create this one user for staff, and you instantly unlock them for all the tools we mentioned. There's a couple more that's part of this that we didn't mention. Microsoft Planner, so which is kind of like a you know, Asana or Trello replacement. That's free as part of this. Microsoft Shifts, which allows you to be able to create schedules for workers, allow them to clock in and out. That's part of it. I feel like there's one more. Oh, the other big one. So Microsoft Bookings. So probably a lot of you all are using Calendly and probably paying separate for Calendly. It all comes as Microsoft Bookings as part of the 365 suite. So, and when I say that central identity, you can actually, you know, you're creating, you know, to Selena's point, for that one user, she went in, added that user, and essentially he or she now had access to all these software. No need to be, you know, going in and out and all these things. So that's my why better than Google, and they don't have a concierge team. So that's it.
Thank you. That proves your point.
All right, good.
Darrell, we have a few questions. First and foremost, I just want to acknowledge everyone who has checked in and posted that they're here in the chat. We're excited to have you. I'm Tiffany from the Concierge team, and we definitely look forward to assisting you. So the first question is, hello, my 501c3 paperwork is still under review. Am I able to participate and still be considered for this program?
No, you're out of luck. It's a joke. I'm just joking. Yes, you can. So the one thing I do want to make clear is, if we look at the 2 parts of this program, there's all the free licenses and things, and then there's the concierge. If at this moment you do not have your 501c3, you cannot get the free licenses. That is a stipulation from way up in Microsoft that is what's needed to get those free licenses. But you can have full access to the concierge team. So if you are currently just fiscally sponsored, or you're a 501c6, 7 or something like that, no, you do not get the licenses. You can still get the concierge team. For those that may be in that, you know, that paperwork in, and, you know, the IRS is taking forever, but I expect it to come in a few weeks. As part of the concierge, we can get you going on a free trial for 60 days. So you still have no cost until that 501c3 paperwork clears, and then we can transition you over to the free licenses.
Great. We have a couple of other questions. So the next question that was asked is the $3,500 the average amount that is needed for Azure for the year?
No, so the 3,500 is just the number that we say we're going to give you to be able to spend. So the way it works, once you claim the Azure credits in your Azure portal, you'll see you have $3,500, and then basically you consume against that. So back to that learning platform that may cost you between $80 and $100 per month, you would just consume against that 3,500. If you have virtual machines or do whatever, you're basically working against that 3,500. And then if you end up exceeding that, You can just pay directly with a credit card, and then on your anniversary date, that $3,500 resets.
Awesome. Thank you, Darrell. Another question we have is if you're already using 365, how can we switch our account into this program?
Very, very similar to the TechSoup answer. Just sign up, just go through, and then when you get Tiffany or Caroline on that first call, you'll be able to say, hey, I already got 365. I want to take advantage of the program, and we'll walk you through it. We've done it with hundreds so far, so it's not anything unique or something we don't know how to handle.
Awesome. One more question. What are the ongoing costs, and can you provide a link to begin the concierge process?
So I'll provide my Cash App so you can pay me for the ongoing costs. There is no ongoing cost. This is completely free. You know, I mean, you could potentially utilize all these things and not spend a dime. If you think of, if your number of users, let's just say M365 is less than 10. If you're using Azure, but you're not consuming more than $3,500, you can have all of these things, all of this technology, access to the concierge team and not spend a dime. So there is no ongoing cost at all. There is, people have said, what's the catch? What's the gimmick, etc. There isn't anything.
Awesome. I know there are some additional questions. We will send a follow-up email, including the slides, link, and the Q&A. So thank you, everybody, for coming, and we look forward to serving you.
And then I want to give I know y'all want to get to the link. Yeah, give 1 second.
Y'all want to go to how do they get this? What is it? How do I get to it? What do I need to do right now? We got people like trying to run right now to get it.
It's very easy, and for we're putting up the link of how to get to it. You can do this QR code, or you can type this link in the bar. For the first 50 people that sign up, you'll get a special prize. That was a joke too, but hurry up. You know how those infomercials, for the first 10 callers, you get this. I wish we had something like that, but I think we're giving you all a lot already. Please take advantage of it. Please, screenshot this, do the QR code. Tiffany or Caroline, can you drop the link in the chat too so people can have it? Sign up. It's a really quick and easy form. It's just ask some questions about you as an organization, your contact info, what's your mission, how did you hear about us, those type of things. And then, like I said, literally, tomorrow, Caroline will be sifting through these, setting these up, and then actually kicking off welcome emails so that you can get in contact with the concierge. It is that easy. Tell your friends. Send it out. Like I said, I'm hard pressed to find any nonprofit that shouldn't be taking advantage of this. And before I turn it back to Joy to wrap us up, I want to give a couple more shout outs. I see Hampton Roads in the house in Virginia Beach. Give a shout out to all my BA people. How y'all doing? Oh, Norfolk's here too. Yours Ministry. Hey, how you doing? But anyway, Joy.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of representation all throughout the United States. We appreciate you all coming on today. Thank you for being a part of the community with Community Investment Network. We knew that this was important. We knew that our communities are working really hard to do exceedingly and abundant things for our communities. And sometimes we need a little bit more, right? And Microsoft has given us this opportunity. We could not pass by and let you all not hear about it. So we appreciate you all coming out today to hear about it. And we know that this is the power of the collective. We know that this is what we are meant to do. So why not do it better and stronger? And we thank Microsoft for Microsoft and team, Darrell and team. Thank you so much for helping us put this out today and share it with the community.
I'll end with you're quite welcome. A lot of people have asked about recording. Joy, I'm signing you up to send out an email to everybody with the link to the recording once we have it. So people, you all will have it. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.